You're listening to the Running Around Charlotte podcast, presented by the Novant Health Charlotte Marathon. 1 day, 5 events, with a race day distance for every goal and pace. Find out more or register at runCHARLOTTE.com. Now, here are your hosts for the Running Around Charlotte podcast, Tim Rhodes and DC Lucchese. Welcome back to the Running Around Charlotte podcast. We are recording live here at the 2024 Novant Health Charlotte Marathon Expo. I'm DC Lucchese. With me once again is my dear friend and the lead ambassador, Lindsay McGee, and an equally dear friend. I notice I did not say old friend.
I was going to say
I checked myself. I even wrote a script. I said,
nope.
Notice I didn't say old.
Good.
So I didn't say Lisa Landrum. Lisa Landrum was the very first guest we had on the Running Around Charlotte podcast back in the day.
What day was it? We talked about this last year, and I can't
remember.
Did,
and I don't even remember, but it was a hot minute ago.
Yes.
A very hot minute ago. But now it's like a bit, as I said. We brought you back when we recorded the shows last year live at the Expo, and it's like, there's no question. You were the very first person I asked. I'm like, you got to come back, because now it's like a bit. We got to check in every year.
Please ask me.
Oh, of course. You're already on the list. So next year, just plan for some time at the Expo to be on the podcast with us. But
we got it.
Thrilled to have you back.
Yes.
I won't even talk about how long we've known each other, because it's been longer than a minute.
Yes.
But for those who don't know you, I mean, you are a coach. You are a I'll call you that. I'll call you an influencer, because you are. You're an advocate, and you're a mom, and you're my friend.
I'm a runner.
And I am all those things.
You're all those things, and I love all of those things, but particularly the friend part. But thank you for joining us. And so let's just reintroduce you to the gang here for the two people who may not know you. Let's jump into your. How the heck did I start this running thing? Because you and I were Cotswold,
we're
parenting
out
back in the day.
Hanging out at the Martial Arts University.
Oh, my gosh.
I
totally forgot about that. Holy cheese. Yeah, man.
Kicks and swings.
Yeah.
So I moved to Charlotte in, I don't like to say years out loud.
Don't do it.
A long time ago. And when I came
before
here.
The influx.
Yes. Before the influx.
I thought you were about to say before the internet. I'm like, that's not
true. Lindsay.
Whoa.
We're not that. No.
Okay.
No.
Whoa.
My Lord.
See?
Oh, jeez.
Influx.
Right. Yes. Yeah. There you go.
And when I came, I have been a runner for a while.
Yeah.
And so I was like looking for places to run, and there were some running groups around, and kind of hard to manipulate as a mom, I didn't know where to go, who was meeting when. And so just kind of started digging around and talking to people and liking some things on Instagram, and runCHARLOTTrun was born. And then through that, I have met just wonderful people and connections, and am now coaching through Forward Motion Charlotte. I have some coaches that work with me. I work mainly with youth athletes, which I really have just a passion for, partly because I have kids of my own, and I know how important it is for them to get that positive influence in their life. And as all of us know, running can be such a huge mental health benefit. So I think if I can help to instill that portion of it in these kids, because oftentimes it's not, and not have running be a source of stress, I'm doing something right if I can do that. So that's my goal right now.
And it's one of those things where it is a lifetime. I don't like to use the word sport. I like to say it's a lifetime activity.
Yeah.
Right? Because you don't have to make it a sport, because for some people that word is like a turnoff. It's like, it's a lifetime activity. You can do it. Lord willing and the creek don't rise. It's like you can do it. You can pick it up at any stage of your life, and you can make it a thing that. And it doesn't have to define you, but it can help refine you over time. And I love that about it. And this is a question I asked her last year, and I didn't. Do you remember what your first post was when you started your brand, runCHARLOTTrun?
Last year.
Yes!
It was about running in the rain. No, it wasn't about running in the rain. It was the picture of, right?
You're getting there.
The picture of a bridge on the Greenway, and I asked where it was.
Yes, you did. Black and white picture out there on freaking out there on the damn
creek, right?
I think right there where McAlpine just about gets to Campbell.
So much more Greenway.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Think about that.
how much that, well, obviously you didn't, but I did. But think about how much that space has changed in the years since you made that post.
It's
Think
wild.
about how much the running community has changed since you made that post.
It's wild. It's been so cool to kind of have a front seat for that whole transformation, and new people coming in and people moving in, and just, making the community stronger. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that that kind of put you in, like, right there in the middle of, I mean, the timing was perfect, right? I mean, you were getting a little bit more time now that the kids were getting a little bit older, and people were not at the 117 people a day number.
Which that blows my mind.
Dude,
that I read
ridiculous.
it in the Running Around Charlotte newsletter. It blows my mind.
It's
He
ridiculous.
extrapolated it earlier on one of our podcasts to 50,000 people, and I was like, okay, that's
you're like,
harder to figure out. Yeah,
You're like,
They're
wait a
all on
minute.
Providence Road.
absolutely.
They're all going north or south on Providence Road at the same time.
But think about that. Think about that. How many people that it's like every day they're trying to find where they're going to be, community, where they're going to be, who they're going to be with, and all of that. And so many of them are coming to running, and that's fantastic.
Yeah.
We've talked about this a bunch of times. 76 running clubs in town. I mean, when you started messing around, trying to build community, dude, there may have been a handful of running clubs.
Noda, Plaza Midwood.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
Noda. And you're like, Noda and a couple more, and now it's like,
which is awesome. And what I am loving is that there are more morning run clubs.
yeah.
There are more run clubs that are not only at breweries. There are really, all women run clubs, and just whatever kind of is your niche. Because I'll be honest, I am not a huge run club person. I'm a solo runner. That's where I kind of solve all my problems, try to run away from my problems, any of the above.
We still do that in Run Club.
There you
I
go.
mean,
And you come home and your kids are still there. Crap.
but it is really nice, and I do feel like I would be able to find my spot in one of these run clubs. There is really a spot for somebody if that's your thing, if that's what you want to do.
And
and then from
you just got to try dozens of them.
Yeah.
Man,
And from a safety perspective as well, that's huge.
Right.
Big advocate of safety, and it is wonderful that there are so many different times that people can go and run with a group and feel,
And you've
confident.
been a big advocate for safety with the CLT Runners Forum.
Yeah.
And I know I get messages that from multiple accounts as a run club leader and just as someone who cares. We have a little messenger, Instagram message group of how to keep safety going. And I know you've initiated a lot of things. If you want to talk about a few of those, whether it's
So we do host a semi-regular safety forum, open safety forum, where everyone is welcome, and we just kind of come. There's not really an agenda. Oftentimes we have somebody from the police force who comes out and speaks with us, and that's always very much appreciated. Mostly we just kind of come and share best practices. A lot of run club leaders come, and that's always appreciated as well, because the more we talk about it and the more we just kind of keep it in the front of everybody's mind, as opposed to, there's something horrible that happens and everyone's talking about it and worried about it and thinking about it. But then, human nature is that we all kind of move on, and it kind of falls by the wayside again until something else horrible happens. So the goal of those forums is really just to keep it in front of everybody's mind and look out for each other. Just the message is look out for each other.
Right. I think that's super important because just like you said, I mean, my background in the news business, it's like, okay, that was today. What's happening tomorrow? Well, that's tomorrow. What's happening the next day? As soon as something else shiny comes up, all of us, not just the media, all of us are moved on to that next thing. And it's not I want to scare you. It's I want you to just keep this in mind. And like you said, look out for each other. Be smart about it. There's a place for you to find somebody to run up. There's a place for you to feel comfortable.
Right.
I think run clubs play a big part of that. If you're, like you said, if you're into that, or maybe something larger, you can find yourself, an opportunity to run with people who run when you do, run where you run, run the pace you do. And I think that's another great thing about having 117 people moving here a day is they may be one of them.
Yes.
Or 10 of them. Hell, I don't know, right? I'm not polling them on the way in the city limits for crying out loud, but It seems like a lot of them are running, and it does seem like a lot of them are Providence Road as well.
Yes.
Hey, that's where my run club is. Just saying. But we're running there, and people are off of the road before most people are on their way to work.
Accurate.
But, I mean, our numbers overall, sold out Charlotte Marathon.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's true.
numbers are up.
That's
Runners
true.
are up.
Yeah.
That is true. And
sure.
you've been sitting on this for a minute, and I'm going to let you drop this, but I was like, oh my gosh. Lisa has props, and
I do have props.
she does have props.
Oh.
Because you were probably in the first group of people who served as pace team leaders
Yes.
back in the day.
Yes.
And I think that was year 2 of the Charlotte Marathon.
So
If
I
not year 3 max, but certainly early in the game.
early in the game, and as I said, I moved to Charlotte a while ago. We're not talking
No,
about
we're not
years,
gonna get
but then I
on that.
started thinking once you asked me, DC, to be on the podcast, I was like, how long have I been a part of this marathon, or a participant in this marathon? And I remember my husband, Jason, was the first of either of us to run the marathon, which he doesn't run. It was his first and only marathon. I remember he was like, let me stop it. I ran the second half with him, and at mile 20, he's like, I'm just going to stop and stretch. And I was like, no,
you're
that's
not.
a bad idea. But he did that, and then I did it the year after, and I could not remember the timing. And so I dug out my medal of the first time I ran Thunder Road, and it was 2007.
Wow. So that was oh my gosh. Now,
So
look at
I
that.
was not. I was a participant.
Okay, you were a participant that
I
year.
did not
Okay,
pace.
there you go.
Yeah.
So for those who are not aware, and we'll get a close-up shot of this later to put in here, but Thunder Road Marathon was the original name of the Novant Health Charlotte Marathon, and I believe 2016, if I'm not mistaken, somebody will probably fact check me on that. So what the hell, right? But 2016, I think, was the year we switched over to that Novant Health Charlotte Marathon.
Oh, yes.
And
So I have another little gem.
Go. Let's
So
see what you got.
okay.
Yeah.
So this is my history. So a long time, right? Then, since this is the 20th anniversary of the marathon, I have a lot of these medals.
Yeah.
But I filed through them, and
yeah.
I found the one that was the
10-year
10-year anniversary. And
Oh
Novant
my
did come
bling,
on.
bling.
I know. It has a little spinny.
Yes, look at that. Oh
Still
my
Thunder
gosh.
Road, but Novant came on.
Look at that.
There are some
Oh,
aspects
but-
of that
Cool,
that
right?
might be emulated.
That is so blingy.
This year.
Yeah.
I freaking love it. I totally forgot
That's
about
so
this one.
shiny.
Oh my gosh. Look at that. It's
November
got
15th,
Lindsay.
2014.
that
There
is
you go.
mad. It's got glitter. It's got the
10
spinny.
years ago.
Oh my gosh.
It's
this
got
is
fire marks.
oh my gosh.
Yeah. Has it all.
Well, we
You
look
could not fit
forward-
more on that medal.
It does. I think the only thing that you would have to have some sort of like candy dispenser
Or
on
like-
it or something.
like a little
Or a-
firework
right,
that goes off
exactly,
when you spit it.
exactly.
Sparks.
You'd have to get checked at the door nowadays.
true.
It's like,
Yeah,
I'm
true.
sorry, ma'am, you're not going to get in with that.
Try
Oh
to
my
get that
gosh.
on an airplane.
So
Yeah, good
all
luck
of
with
that
that.
to say, and to show,
Yeah.
this race, I
Yeah.
think I've always said that it has been very fun to watch
Yeah.
how the community has embraced it.
Yeah.
And I've always said, like, if you are not running it, even though there's a distance
Yeah.
for everybody,
Yeah.
come out and cheer.
Yeah.
Come out and cheer or help. Like,
Right.
if you are a member of this running community in Charlotte in some way, shape, or form,
Yeah.
be a part of this marathon.
We have more than doubled our cheer stations
That's
for this
awesome.
year. We had someone
can't
just
wait.
working in the neighborhood,
I
working
can't
all the
wait.
neighborhood associations, and
Yeah.
as someone who does the social media,
Yeah.
the neighborhoods are so pumped for tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And, the-
So
I love it.
and these neighborhoods, some of their socials are like total fire.
Yep,
Like,
yep.
Go off.
All about us. All about us.
Y'all go off.
And
I'm
we
like,
love
wow.
that.
Yeah, and I Jeff Fox, who was on the show about a month or 6 weeks ago, he and his neighborhood folks over in NODA, they host on 16th Street. You know what
Oh,
I'm
I
talking
know
about,
this.
right?
Yes.
There's a record, and somebody's going to have to fact check me on it. There's a record of cases of PBR.
Oh,
That they're,
really?
yes, that they're hoping
Very
to break
fun.
this year. They're like,
love
yeah,
it.
back in 2019, we had a record number of cases of PBR that they like handed out to runners. I'm like, that many people are taking a hand up
So
beer?
I
Like, dude.
I have a story about that cheer station. So the back half of the marathon can be a little challenging.
Yes.
And
Mildly,
as any back
Right,
half
yeah,
of
yeah,
any
yeah,
marathon,
fair,
right?
fair,
Like
yeah.
you reach
Yeah.
mile 16,
You're like, okay.
putting your head down. But I was leading a pace group, and we were going down North Davidson, and it was windy, and it was like a headwind, and it was just kind of like this long, shot.
Yeah.
And
Like,
I said, just put your head down. Like, we make it on. We'll take a right turn. There will be the best cheer station. The best cheer station. They have a wall, like everything, right? That year they didn't have it for some reason.
Oh,
So I had been telling my group, they will have it.
They're
this year.
having.
Oh,
I
it's
know
there,
they're
yeah.
having
Seen their
it.
socials.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I can't remember why, but they did not have it. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, you people.
Yeah.
Let's
Looking
make our
forward
own
to, like,
fun.
having something.
High five. Let's go. Let's
You
go.
know what? I think I know the story why, and I think Jeff explained it in the show. I'm not going to get it right, but he had a health thing one year, like at the marathon before.
Okay.
And, I mean, he's back and he's running this year. So
Great.
awesome. But I
Great.
think that had something to do with it. So, well, you can fact check me by listening to the
Yes.
podcast or
We'll
reading the transcript
dig
of it.
into
We
it.
had
But it's
one
Jeff Box,
reporter
and it's
on
a-
earlier, and now he wants everything fact checked.
I want
It
everything
is
fact
amazing.
checked. 'cause
One
I'm like,
person.
well, you guys
okay.
know by now, I have 3 kids. I
Yes.
can't remember a damn thing.
Yeah.
So it's like,
No.
I don't want to be wrong. I'm like, just like, I don't even freaking know.
Well,
so, yeah.
the takeaway of that
Yeah.
conversation is that it will be there tomorrow.
Absolutely. And there
people
will
who
be-
are running the marathon, it's so fun. It will give you
Yeah.
the biggest. It will
Yeah.
give you the biggest boost.
Yeah.
I'm going to need it.
Yeah.
On 35th Street, Local
And
Loaf.
I'll show you the picture. Jeff's got cases of PBR ready to rock. They're
There we
trying to
go.
break a
I
record.
think I'm
so.
already going to want to vomit before I get there, so I'm going to hang on. I'm going to hang on.
All right.
on that.
Well, it's not for everybody.
Maybe Lisa
It's not
does
for
a
everybody.
shower beer afterwards.
Do you
This
do,
is the-
shower beer?
I do a shower glass of wine.
See?
Perfect.
There you go. Shower glass of wine. Yeah.
Perfect.
There you go.
This is like the question of the day.
Yeah.
today.
Shower beer. Shower
It's
beer.
the best.
Man.
White or
Cal-
red?
Oh, that's a good
It
question.
depends. Summer, winter.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Kinda
Okay.
depends.
Red
So-
for a little chilly weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
Perfect.
go. There you go.
Stays warm in the shower
There you
anyway.
go. Yes.
Do you use an actual glass? Or you just take the whole bottle in there, or do you like a
No, not
silicone?
Come on.
cup?
I'm classy, DC.
I got it in a sippy cup. I'm classy. I'm like,
You don't want water to water down the wine.
No, come on.
oh, like you know our middle daughter.
Yes.
She took the shower beer concept a step further. She's shower popsicle.
Okay.
I'm
See,
like,
I'm going to do that.
right on.
Whatever works.
Hey man,
Yeah.
she's down in Florida. She's like shower popsicle year round. I'm like,
There you go.
Genius, kid.
Yeah.
Genius.
Smart.
I've never done shower popsicle, but I'm all about shower beer. But that's not why we're here.
Yeah, why are we-
There's another rhyme for you, Kyle. Sorry about that. You've been a part of this for a bunch of years, and like I said, this is Lindsay's first go round at challenging the marathon.
Yeah.
What sort of advice would you drop for her, or for anybody else that matter who's taken on Charlotte?
I love this question. Charlotte will be fun because it truly is your hometown now, right?
Yeah.
Like, so you will feel very comforted in that fact. My biggest piece of advice for all of my runners is to just run the mile that you're in. And I didn't make that up. There's a temporary tattoo with it. Go maybe put it on your arm. But if you just take things one chunk at a time, 1 mile at a time, that's all you can do. And keep repeating that.
Yeah.
Stay in the moment. Be present.
Yes.
Right.
You and Eric Smith must talk a lot because that was his piece of advice.
Yeah.
when we
Eric
did
Smith
the
and I
mental
talk for
alignment.
4 hours a lot.
Yeah. True. As pacers. Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
that is
Runners.
true. You guys have talked for 4 hours a lot of times.
Yes.
That is a picture that I have all over and
Yeah.
see all over these feeds for the Charlotte Marathon. And you guys have paced a bunch of other places too. But
Yes.
I think about that. It's like, oh my gosh, how many people, their first time pacing was at Charlotte. And I remember when I was making that phone call,
Yeah.
going like, who do I know that'd be dumb enough to do this? You were one of those people.
Yep.
Right? It's like I talked to some of these people, and they've paced now here a bunch of times, self-included, and
Yeah.
all over the country, all over the world. And they're like, dude, first time I paced a run was you, and you called me up like 3 weeks before. It may have been that close. I think it was ridiculously close, if I remember
You got to
correctly.
be ready. I mean,
Yeah,
you gotta
I'm
be
on
ready
go.
if you're a pacer.
Yeah.
No,
That's
I
true.
love that. Is truly
Yeah.
like that role is so fun
Yeah.
because it just takes the pressure off of you. You know,
Yeah.
like you're giving you're more worried about the people around you
Yeah.
and giving the energy to them, and it's for me it's really fulfilling.
Yeah.
For
And
sure.
I say this every time I see the Pacers come through because I know what y'all are giving up to get somebody to their goal. And it's like, man, that's such a beautiful thing. But once you get to 4 hours and beyond, it's like, man, that's where all the fun is. It's like, like the people that are running.
That's where I'll be.
Right. Well, the people that are running there, it's not that they're working any less hard or any more or whatever. It's like once you get to, it seems like the 4 hour mark is like the magic mark where it's like, now is where, as I like to say, the good looking people are really coming in hard.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
And I love that. And I appreciate everything that goes into that and everything you guys do for that. Let's talk a little bit more about you here. So you started something on social, building community virtually and then, physically by being at these events and rallying people around events. And then you started coaching. And then you said, you know what? I need to go a little deeper into that. I'm going to start something else where now you're the community ambassador for Around the Crown 10K as well. You're doing the safety forums. I mean, you are literally all in the fabric woven through the Charlotte running community now. That's pretty cool, man.
That is cool. When you put it that way, it is very cool. And I think the part that I love the most is working with different people and finding what makes things different. I've said this before, like the races that are successful are the ones that have, personality and some passion behind them. So it's neat for me to see the different ways people go about doing that. Yeah.
It is cool. And I think the other cool thing is with all these people moving here and all these people trying to find their space, that the OG folks like you and me, it's like, and others, there are so many people that have been here and been part of the Charlotte running community for a long time. It's like, they're like, yeah, man, door's wide open. Hell, you can come through the window. That's cool too, right? It's like, I mean, literally, it's like, you've not been here that long and you are all in.
Yes.
And I think somebody who's looking, thinking, oh, I'm third party outside, they can go, I can find a place to have an impact because Charlotte is not like this locked off running community. Oh.
Right. Yeah.
Well, there are a lot of leaders
you can't fit in
that encourage new people to get involved, or Charlotte Running Club, or opportunities to step up, whether it's pacing, and then someone realizes that they can be a leader. Or I was offered an opportunity to lead a run club, and I said, I'm not going to be a brewery run club because I don't drink beer, and that just doesn't work for me. And there's just opportunities that a lot of companies are like breweries, coffee shops, companies are now starting run clubs, and there's just there's all these little spots that are available to get in, which is amazing, whether you've been here a year and a half or 20.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing next? What's next for Lisa Landrum, that I can check in with you when we do this again next year and go, like, how did that go? Because I'll remember it, and you'll be like, damn, I forgot you were going to ask me about that.
I am doing some fun things with Forward Motion that I'm excited about, just from the youth aspect.
Great. Can you tell us? Is it secret? Is it fancy?
Yeah. It's not rocket science.
No,
but I think
running is not fancy.
That's
why we do it.
I don't know, man. Lisa's fancy, man. Look at her. She's fancy.
I don't think it's rocket science. I think it's a little bit of a different angle that has been done before. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Great. Well, because, children are our future, Lisa.
I know that. I do. I know.
Well, it
no
will
pressure.
Right. It will be interesting to see because, it will be interesting to see because, you probably see some of the same stuff from Running USA and things like that where, that 18 to 29 group is growing.
Yeah.
Right? Their participation in events is growing for the first time, and don't hold me to that because I can't remember what the numbers are, but that chunk of folks, their level of participation in events is growing, which speaks to, okay, who's running?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
so I do have to give a little shout out. My son, Nolan, my middle son, middle child, is doing his first half marathon. It's not here. It's in Richmond. He's up at Chapel Hill. So he's doing the Richmond half tomorrow.
Yay.
So
right
that speaks exactly to what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's that next generation.
Yeah.
And yet you'll still be here pacing.
I know, I will. I have a crew. I have some friends up there that are going to go
Okay.
cheer for him. And
Great.
As long as he still has support.
We'll FaceTime. Yeah, he's got a little club that's going up. So
Perfect. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
You need the medal.
Yeah.
20th.
That's
I know.
right.
Come on.
I can't wait.
Well, I'm like, who's gonna manage the 4-hour pace? I can't leave Eric out there by himself.
Eric could manage it for sure by himself.
I messaged him the other day, and he said, I was like, just have people look for the Peloton. Like, there's just
Right,
gonna
that
be
4-hour thing is like,
there's
we're-
going to be Eric's head
Yep.
and just and
Yeah.
his sign
Wow. And for
and
those who are
150 people.
exactly, and for those who are asking who the hell is Eric, we're talking about Eric Smith. He's been on the show before. You can look him up. Heck, you can Google him. Heck, you've probably seen him, but who knows how many
Yeah.
runs? He's a great guy. Another person who's really literally another weave through that
Yeah.
Charlotte running community. So you see that guy all over the place in a
Yep.
beautiful way. So
Yep. Definitely.
good stuff. I cannot wait to see you out there tomorrow.
Same.
Doing
it's
it
gonna be a
for
good
year
day.
20. You'll have the
I
medal
can't wait.
collection.
I
Will be
know.
awesome.
I know.
It's going to be great.
When I come on the 40th anniversary, I will bring
Lord
the
of
20.
mercy. Oh,
I'll bring
boy.
the 20
Oh,
year
my gosh.
anniversary medal.
Well, I guess with the 40th anniversary medal will be like some sort of hologram.
It probably will.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it'll be great. It'll be like that. Something super
You'll
duper
still
fancy.
be doing the 4-hour, too. That's
yeah.
like the most amazing thing.
Maybe
Yeah.
my son will be pushing me in the wheelchair.
That's
For the
okay.
4 hours.
Yeah, that's okay.
That might
man.
be
It's all
what
good.
it is.
It's all good. It's
a
all
good
good.
memory.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah. So for those who are looking and listening, and for those who are listening, I encourage you to look at the YouTube so you can get an eyeball on some of this OG bling that Lisa brought here. So yeah, you'll want to see that for sure. Check out Lisa at Forward Motion.
CLT.
Yep, well, they can Google Forward Motion. I've done it before. It goes straight to it. So I'm one of those kind of
Okay,
people. If I can
okay.
avoid a couple of steps, I'm there. and follow what she's up to and what she's doing with the running community on socials. runCLTrun. You
Yep.
can do that too. It's great.
Yep. And
Yeah.
that is where the safety stuff is
Yeah,
housed.
exactly.
So
Yes,
if you
yes,
have
yes.
any input, ideas, want to become more involved with that,
Yeah.
I mean, it is not it's not something that's owned. It is for the whole community. It's just
absolutely.
housed on
Yeah.
that website. So
Yeah.
please
Yeah.
give us your input.
Exactly. It's got to live somewhere.
It's gotta
I'm
live
glad
somewhere.
it's living there. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Super cool stuff. Lisa Landrum, thank you so much, my friend.
That's
It is
awesome.
great to see you.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see you out there, and we'll do it again next
Yeah,
year.
we will.
Yeah. Thank you,
Awesome.
friend.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Absolutely.
Have fun tomorrow.
Thank you. 1 mile at a time.
That's
1
it.
mile at a time.
The Running Around Charlotte podcast is presented by the Novant Health Charlotte Marathon. Running Around Charlotte is produced in partnership with Well Run Media and Marketing. New episodes are available every week, anywhere you listen to podcasts.